This is Top Accurate Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Russia launched a rush-hour barrage of missiles towards Ukraine on Thursday, the day after Kiev secured Western pledges of dozens of modern battlefield tanks to try to push back the Russian invasion. Moscow had reacted with fury to the German and American announcements and, as in the past, responded to apparent Ukrainian successes with airstrikes that have left millions without light, heat or water. The Ukrainian military said it had shot down all 24 drones sent overnight by Russia, including 15 around the capital, with no damage reported. But soon afterwards, air raid alarms sounded across Ukraine as people were heading to work, and senior officials said air defenses were shooting down incoming missiles. In the capital, crowds of people took cover in underground metro stations and a loud explosion was heard. DTEC, Ukraine's largest private energy producer, said it was conducting emergency power shutdowns in Kiev, the surrounding region and the regions of Odessa and Dnipropetrovsk because of the imminent danger. Kiev's military administration said more than 15 missiles fired at Kiev had been shot down, but urged people to remain on shelters. Israeli troops have killed at least 9 Palestinians and wounded over a dozen others in one of the deadliest days in the occupied West Bank since Israeli raids intensified at the start of last year. An elderly woman has been reported among the dead, according to Palestinian officials. The Palestinian Health Ministry said that 16 others were injured with live ammunition in the raid on Jenin refugee camp, which Palestinians have described as a massacre. Israeli forces have now withdrawn from Jenin. Only one of the 8 people killed has been identified so far, 24-year-old Saheb Izam Streiki. Health officials said the situation on the ground is very difficult, with injuries continuing to pour into hospitals and Israeli forces obstructing the work of ambulances and medics. Israeli forces also fired tear gas canisters towards the hospital, which seeped into the children's division, Baker said, causing suffocation injuries, including among children. The Israeli military said that special forces had been sent into Jenin to detain Islamic Jihad fighters suspected of carrying out and planning multiple major terror attacks. Opium poppy cultivation has surged in Myanmar since the military seized power in 2021, reversing a steady decline that was seen in the illicit crop between 2014 and 2020. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime (UNODC) has said Myanmar saw a 33% increase in opium poppy cultivation and an 88% increase in the potential opium yield in 2020, according to data collected by the UNODC during the first full opium growing season since the military's seizure of power in February 2021. In numbers that equate to slightly more than 40,000 hectares of poppy cultivated last year in Myanmar, with a possible yield of 790 metric tons of opium, the highly addictive narcotic that can be processed to make heroin, according to the UN agency. In quote, the 2022 results confirm a significant expansion is underway of Myanmar's opium economy, the UNODC said in a statement released on Thursday to accompany the publication of the Myanmar Opium Survey 2022, a perfect storm of economic security and governance disruptions following the military's takeover in Myanmar have converged to create the current conditions in which opium cultivation is growing, UNODC regional representative Jeremy Douglas said. European Union migration ministers meet on Thursday to discuss visa restrictions and better coordination inside the bloc to be able to send more people with no right to asylum in Europe back to their home countries, including Iraq, 3 years after the 27-nation EU agreed to restrict visas for countries deemed failing to cooperate on taking their people back. Only Gambia has been formally punished. The EU's Executive European Commission proposed similar steps vis-à-vis Iraq, Senegal and Bangladesh, though 2 EU officials said cooperation with Dhaka on returning people has since improved. Still, the EU's overall rate of effective returns stood at 21% in 2021, according to Eurostat data, the latest available. Immigration is a highly politically sensitive topic in the bloc, where member countries would much rather discuss stepping up returns as well as reducing irregular immigration in the first place than revive their bitter feud over how to share out the task of caring for those who make it to Europe and win the right to stay. Some 160,000 people made it across the Mediterranean in 2022, according to UN data, the main route to Europe for people fleeing wars and poverty in the Middle East, Africa and Southeast Asia. On top of that, nearly 8 million Ukrainian refugees were also registered across Europe. The chief executive of Toyota Motor Corporation will step down as head of the company his grandfather founded, the Japanese automaker said on Thursday, handing over to the boss of its luxury car unit as it struggles to meet the shift to electric vehicles. Koji Sato, the automaker's 53-year-old chief branding officer, who is also president of Toyota's luxury brand Lexus, will take over as chief executive from April 1st, the company said as Akio Toyoda becomes chairman. The current chairman, Takeshi Uchiyamada, will drop his chairman title but remain on the board. The issue of who will take over from Toyota, the 66-year-old grandson of the company's founder, had increasingly been a focus for investors, but the timing of the succession announcement was a surprise. Under Toyota, the automaker has followed a go-slow approach to electric vehicles, arguing that the hybrid technology it pioneered with the Prius will remain important along with investment in hydrogen. That approach has prompted criticism from investors and activists who once widely praised its technology and environmental record. Toyota said Sato's mission would be to transform Toyota into a mobility company without specifying what that strategy would entail. That is the size of top accolade global news update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Thursday.